Ranked from dangerously effective to outright excessive, today we're diving into a lineup of brutal blades built by cold steel. These things feel like they were made for situations you probably shouldn't be in. And by the end, you'll understand why cold steel has a reputation that borders on infamous. Unique because it doesn't look like a weapon at all. The cold steel Irish Blackthorn walking stick carries one of the most dangerous fighting traditions in history hidden inside an everyday object. At 37 inches and right around 2 pounds, it's got real mass behind every swing. Owners describe it as a formidable fighting tool if push ever comes to shove, with enough density in that knobbed head to put someone down fast. The grip tapers to a solid heel, and the weighted top end means the force multiplies the moment it connects. It functions consistently with standard baton and staff striking techniques. Train with it like you would a baton and it becomes a serious close quarters tool. For anyone who wants serious defensive capability without ever raising an eyebrow, the Irish Blackthorn earns its place on this list. Simple in design but devastatingly effective, the cold steel bore spear proves why this centuries-old weapon still commands respect. Straight out of the box, the spearhead arrives impressively sharp with a factory edge that's more than ready for demanding use. The 3 inches wide and 18.5 inches long head is cold-forged SK5 carbon steel, heat-treated to a spring temper, and is designed to flex under stress instead of breaking. The blade's profile delivers excellent penetration, while the reinforced construction inspires confidence when tackling tough targets. The crossguards are rolled from the same piece of SK5 medium carbon steel that the rest of the spearhead is. Their whole job is to stop whatever you just stabbed from sliding up the shaft toward your hands. They also serve the purpose of catching and deflecting other weapons when used in war. The shaft is American ash, 64 inches of it, stained and varnished. It's thicker than you'd expect. The whole spear's just under 82 inches long and weighs about 68 ounces, which sounds like a lot until you're holding it and it just feels right. So it seems pretty cool, and I like it. It is expensive, though. That's the only bad thing. But it can take a lot of abuse. This is a truly awe-inspiring piece and sends a very clear message when leveled at someone's chest that you are not to be trifled with. No powder, no primer, no noise, just your lungs and something moving at serious speed downrange. The cold steel big bore blowgun. It's a 625 caliber weapon that'll push a dart through half-inch plywood. Cold steel makes these in a few configurations, 4 foot, 5 foot, and a 2-piece version that breaks down for transport. The bore size is the whole story here. Most budget blowguns run 40 caliber. Cold steel went 625. Bigger bore means heavier darts. Heavier darts means more downrange energy and a flatter trajectory at distance. Cold steel rates effective range at 20 yards or more. Tight groups on a 2-inch target at distance are absolutely achievable with practice. Power-wise, this is a completely different animal than the thin-wire 40 cal blowguns people grew up with. The heavy payload darts can easily penetrate a half-inch sheet of plywood, making it perfect for small game hunting such as doves, quail, squirrels, and rabbits. Another advantage is its almost silent operation. Unlike firearms or even most air rifles, the only sound you'll hear is the rush of air and the impact on the target. Of course, the big bore blowgun isn't without limitations. It requires proper technique to achieve consistent performance. Wind can also affect lightweight darts more than many new users expect, especially at longer distances. If you want maximum thump and real-world hunting capability in a blowgun, this is one of the best you can buy. Few blades blur the line between a machete and a sword quite like the cold steel 2-handed katana machete, and that's the whole point of the design. It pairs a 24-inch full-tang 1055 carbon steel blade with a modified Tanto style point, finished in a black baked-on anti-rust coating with a 16.5-inch injection molded polypropylene handle reinforced by 2 heavy-duty bolts. So if the handle ever gets damaged, it's a fixable issue rather than a deal-breaker. The long handle and sturdy crossguard lets you run the blade one-handed for quick brushwork or two-handed for full power chops. The design lends itself to choking up near the guard for tighter, more controlled cuts, or sliding your grip down to the very end of the handle for maximum reach and swing speed. In hand, the length does most of the work, and despite its size, it doesn't feel like a chore to swing repeatedly. The polypropylene handle shrugs off hard knocks, and the crossguard does real work keeping your hand from creeping forward into the edge during aggressive chopping. a detail that matters more in practice than it sounds like on paper. The included Correct sheath covers the blade securely, but given the overall length here, this is a truck, camp, or garage tool rather than something you're strapping to a belt. Based on the design used by Russian Special Forces, this entrenching tool was developed for dual use as both a field implement and a last resort weapon. Its sharpened shovel edges make it a highly effective and dangerous piece of kit. Spetsnaz soldiers were even trained to use it as a throwing weapon. The Special Forces shovel comes from the factory with what Cold Steel calls a utility edge. The carbon-coated steel blade's not as sharp as I'd like, but it's a good starting point. 2 large Phillips screws anchor the hardwood handle into the socket. Beyond moving dirt, the wide blade's sharpened edges and head-heavy swing don't just make it dig fast, they also make it a serious last-resort self-defense option, something Cold Steel doesn't shy away from in its own marketing. If things go sideways out in the field, this isn't something you want to be on the wrong end of. That same head-heavy balance also makes it a favorite in recreational throwing circles, where it's used as an alternative to a tomahawk. If you need a bit more handle for real entrenching or shelter construction, Cold Steel makes the Spetsnaz Special Forces trench shovel. This upsizes the shovel to a 30-inch overall length and a slightly larger blade. While it performs all the duties of the smaller shovel, what it gives up in portability, it gains in functionality. Cold Steel includes a Cordura sheath with an extra wide belt loop for anyone who wants to carry it rather than toss it in a truck bed. Few tomahawks look as intimidating as the Cold Steel Warhawk, but its real strength lies in its practical design and excellent all-around performance. Measuring 19 inches overall, the Warhawk features a head of drop-forged 1055 carbon steel for toughness and a textured polypropylene handle. The partial tang is inset into the handle and secured by 2 large bolts, and you can replace it easily should it break. The wide bearded axe head excels at chopping and cutting. The tang area just behind the head has a few finger grooves for choking up for whittling or more precise cuts. The double ground spike has a distinctive Tanto-ish shape for maximum penetration and power. The spike is ground on top and bottom to remove material for enhanced penetration. The whole thing feels lightweight, yet substantial. It seems well balanced, and although I have some initial concerns about the plastic handle, I have to admit that the Warhawk certainly feels sturdy. The sheath is a clever double-articulated design that encases most of the head. The only negative is there's no belt attachment provision. Consequently, the Warhawk is ideal for storing in your truck for camping expeditions. Now we're getting into the serious hardware. The Cold Steel Kukri machete. Users frequently describe it as a hybrid between an axe and a machete. It clears brush efficiently, processes wood effectively, and generates tremendous cutting power without requiring excessive effort. Many long-term owners report years of hard use with excellent durability. The blade is 1055 carbon steel. That's a big step up in toughness compared to most of the stainless options we've talked about. 1055 carbon takes an aggressive edge, handles hard impact without chipping, and has been used in military blades for a reason. The trade-off, as always with carbon steel, is that you've got to dry it and oil it or it'll rust. The blade's 13 inches. The whole thing comes in at right around 16 ounces. Not too heavy, not too light. The Kukri's shape naturally shifts weight toward the tip, which means your chops land harder with less effort. If you've never used a Kukri profile before, it almost feels like the blade does the work for you. A 13-inch blade like this hits like an 18-inch blade. Cold Steel finishes it with a black anti-rust coating and a textured handle for grip. Another advantage is versatility. While it's primarily known as a chopping machine, the Kukri shape also allows controlled slicing and detailed camp work once you become familiar with its handling characteristics. At this price on Amazon, it's one of the best value-to-performance ratios on the market. The Cold Steel Kukri has developed something close to a cult following over the years, and after using one, it's easy to understand why. It combines affordability, durability, power, and proven field performance into a package that simply works. This formidable 20-inch Afghan knife is forged from high-quality 1080 steel by expert knife makers and exhibits an exceptional balance between strength, durability, and edge retention, ensuring the tool remains razor-sharp even after being put through the ringer. And at a robust 10.5 millimeters thick, the Cold Steel Khyber provides unmatched cutting power suited to a wide variety of outdoor tasks. The blade's trademark graceful curve includes a subtle yet distinct fuller along the spine that improves overall balance and cutting efficiency without sacrificing the ease with which it can be maneuvered. Attached to the impressive blade is a white 5.2-inch ABS handle, offering a secure grip even in challenging environmental conditions. Weighing in at 1.76 pounds thanks to intentionally distributed weight along the blade and handle, with each swing it enhances control and precision, performing accurate cuts with minimal effort. What wilderness challenge would you tackle with the Khyber sword in hand? Share your daring scenarios in the comments below. I'll admit it, I like daggers, and this one is very good. This is obviously a fighting tool, 7.5 inches of AUSA 8A stainless steel blade honed to extremely sharp double edges. The cold steel taipan is not small either, at 13 inches in total length. It handles quickly and well, shifting through grip transitions with ease. The wide spear point is very strong and gives the knife an attractive, solid look. The pointed skull crusher pommel is a nice addition too. The kraton grip is very secure and quite comfortable. I doubt anyone could pick up the taipan and not be impressed with this aspect of it. It's a pleasure to hold and to wield. This is a knife that requires little in the way of an introduction. The Cold Steel 5 Max is arguably the most overbuilt, hard-use folding knife of all time. If you go by size alone, Cold Steel's 5 Max is a man among boys, if for no other reason than the simple fact folding knives are rarely made this big. With 5 inches of S35VN steel and a blade stock thickness of 0.19 inches, you have an idea of what a monster this blade is. It's a drop point shape with a higher saber grind and a respectable black stonewash finish. It's touting large thumb studs on either side of the blade and carries Cold Steel's typical style of large font branding and model name on the blade. A good portion of the blade near the heel is reserved for the sharpening choil, which is big enough to use as a choked-up position for the index finger. The stonewash finish is very smooth, which gives the blade a frictionless feel in passing through material, as well as a smoothed-out spine for a comfortable feel in hand. The blade's employed via an ambidextrous thumb stud and snaps in place via the renowned tri-adlock mechanism. The ergonomically designed dark green G10 handle delivers excellent traction for a solid feel, even when working in the most challenging outdoor conditions. In my opinion, this knife is the undisputed champion in the hard-use folding knife category. Next up, we have a blade that just screams no nonsense the moment you hold it. Weighing in at a solid 10.6 ounces, the Cold Steel GI Tanto is built for pure utility, offering a tactical vibe that's impossible to ignore. With a 7-inch 1055 carbon steel blade, this thing's a workhorse designed for hard use in rough conditions. The Tanto point gives it that extra punch, making it a serious piercing tool. The black rust-resistant coating adds durability and gives it a sleek, low-profile finish. No glare, no shine, just a blade ready to get to work. The handle's as basic as they come. The minimalist polypropylene scales are designed for a solid grip and control, even in wet or muddy conditions. If you want to wrap it with some paracord for added thickness and grip, Cold Steel designed the handle to accommodate that. There's even a large lanyard hole in the butt for customizing how you carry or hang the knife. The included sheath is basic but functional. A secure military-grade plastic scabbard with an integrated belt loop and lashing points. If you're searching for a tactical Tanto capable of handling everything from camp tasks to self-defense, this robust and reliable option, though a bit heavy, is virtually bomb-proof. This minimalist survival knife can be easily converted into a spear, and it's pretty much indestructible, doesn't weigh much, and takes a keen edge. It has a hollow handle that allows the knife to be affixed to a shaft for use as a spear or harpoon. A honing steel is included in the sheath so you can touch up the blade if necessary. It may not give you a shaving sharp edge, but you can fix any nicks without having to regrind it. The Cold Steel Bushman has an almost cult-like following among its users, and some of the mods they make to this knife make it a real standout. Add a retention strap to the sheath and you have a very capable survival knife that can be pressed into a variety of roles. Inspired by medieval battle axes, the Cold Steel Templar is a specialized throwing tool designed for self-defense or competition. The blade is made from durable 1055 carbon steel, which is known for its toughness and ability to hold an edge. This type of steel is perfect for a throwing axe because it can withstand the repeated impacts and stress associated with the activity. With an axe-style head, top and back spikes, and a tapered spiked handle, it hits hard at almost any distance and rotation. And thanks to its head-heavy balance, it's capable of being thrown even over extended distances. When it comes to sticking potential, it's the next best thing to a shrunken or throwing star, landing with a satisfying thunk over and over again. While it's primarily designed for throwing, its robust construction means it can also be used for chopping and other outdoor tasks. It's competitively priced compared to other high-end throwing axes on the market, making it a worthwhile investment for enthusiasts.